sex and companionship. So basically, a lot of you have been messaging me, for a long time actually. Talk about women, talk about relationships, talk about this, that. So I said, okay, let's talk about it, whatever. So, how do we get women? How do we create a personality? And since a lot of you are from India, obviously you're a virgin. So let's talk about it, man. Let's try and understand the various aspects of it. And then of course we can do a lot of questions and answers, etc. etc. So let's wait another 15 seconds and then we can start. Yeah. All right, so let's go. Let's start. Okay, so all you little horny skirt chasers were messaging me for so long. How do we get a woman in our lives? And considering that you all live in India in probably some rural area and you'll have never even spoken to a woman, or maybe some tier two or tier three town. So I thought, okay, let's make a video trying to understand this whole idea of a relationship. Now, I am not I'm not here to tell you that, oh, develop your personality, which is important, or make a body or whatever. Let's understand why you want companionship. Okay, why do you want a woman or a man in your life? So I think the first thing is that if sex was not pleasurable, right, most of you would not be chasing the opposite sex, right? So if sex was something that was painful and was only done to have a child, firstly, most of us wouldn't be born, and secondly, most of us would not want a companion, right? So first analyze this idea that I want someone, but is it because of sex? Is sex a major thing? And if it is, how major is it? Is it 20%? Is it 50%? Is it 70%? All right. And even if it's say 70%, do you think you'll be able to survive in a relationship with the person? And when it comes down to 30%, do you have other things to fill that void? So that is the real question. Now I will tell you why I would like a companion, okay? Or when I do pair up with somebody, why I pair up with somebody, right? Sex is important. It's about 30% of the relationship for me, right? And when I'm dealing with somebody, it's basically because I want to be able to be myself. You see, I cannot date a normie. I cannot date someone who is who wants a child, or I cannot date someone who doesn't understand antinatalism. She doesn't have to be an antinatalist herself, but she has to at least understand the fact that life is suffering. All right, because what happens if we don't on that fundamental issue, if we are not vibing on that fundamental issue, then automatically there'll be major fights. Okay, because when I look at somebody and I say, oh, this person is suffering, and she's like, no, he's not suffering, what rubbish. No, he's she tries to be all toxically positive about it. Obviously I will not appreciate it. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it doesn't work for me. Okay, and most people are toxically positive. That's why I've left a lot of them out there, and I'm yet to leave a few of them. But overall, I think when it comes to companionship, and this, she definitely has to be she has to understand what I'm trying to say. She has to have a similar viewpoint about the world. All right, otherwise it just simply definitely doesn't work for me. Then the second aspect is more emotional, where so philosophical, it starts with philosophical, then it goes to emotional, where I can express myself to her. She understands what shit I've been through, and how my family functions and how it's affected me, how my friends function and how it affects me, how the world functions, my functioning with the world. And then she, in this case, she can have her own point of view, but she must be able to understand what I'm trying to say, and I too must be able to understand what she's trying to say, right? So if she and she should be I should be able to be myself with her. That is my basic objective, right? And then it of course philosophical, then it becomes emotional, and then I go to the depths of even pre-period arousal, and I'm like, okay, this is how she is before the periods, during periods, after periods, whatever, and during her fertile crescent, what for fertile time. So all these things I think about, but that's me. So all these I make a computation of it, and then I decide how it fits into my life. Okay, and then of course I discuss it with her, and then I discuss how I fit into her life, etc. So all these compilations, this thought process is what goes on with me, right? So you have to make percentages, and you have to prioritize what is important to you. You have to in my case it is philosophically, right, emotionally, and then physically. All right. And of course mentally is another major factor. Like, I don't expect a lot of thought generally from women, because they don't seem to be interested in thought as much as I am. They overthink things, but they don't analyze things. They don't see a very, very big picture. This is what I've generally observed, and it doesn't affect me. But if there is someone who can see a big enough picture, who can think at the speed that I think, and think with me and give me a opposing point of view, then yes, mentally also would be an important factor. Right. Now the question is, how do you get women? A lot of you have been like, okay, how do I? Basically, the problem with the male problem here is that how do I get women? And the female problem is, how do I get the right man? All right. So I'll tackle the female problem first because it's easier. You should have a bunch of tests, okay? Have a allow more men into your life and have a bunch of tests. See if they go anyway. You have tests, right? But those tests are based on very stupid things, on very like, oh, did he do this for me nicely? Did he talk with me in this way? Or, what is the manner in which he says it? No, you must work on more on what he is trying to say rather than the manner in which he says it. Men tend to not understand manner very well. And in my case, I don't even want to adjust for someone. I don't want to adjust my mannerisms for someone. I may adjust my words, I may adjust my thoughts, but my mannerisms, if you're concentrating on the mannerisms, then I don't want you. Because there are times where I could be rude, there are times where I could be strict, right? And you must understand the intention behind it. I will also clearly state my intention behind it. So you must think of it in that way, right? So when it comes to another major thing is communication, how well you can communicate. In my case, I can't communicate with women uh, in many cases. Like, they talk, and then beyond the point they stop expressing. Once they are in love, or once they care about you, they stop expressing what they want. They're like, oh, I want to make him happy. That doesn't make sense to me. Okay, why do you want to make me happy? I also want to make you happy. What about that? Right, I will state what I want, you state what you want, and then we'll come to some sort of negotiation. That is what life is, that is what relationships are. Negotiation. All right, that is how life functions. Up down, mine is better, yours is better, and then we come together and create something which is sometimes a compromise, sometimes even better than the first two options. So that is how you must think about sex and companionship. Now, how do you get? I'll tackle the man's problem. How do I get a woman? Okay, getting a woman is a question of you developing your personality. A lot of you have not developed your personality because you all have sat in front of computers or video games or whatever. First, go work out. First, go work out. Then start understanding women. Okay. Then start understanding the world. It's all this understanding that will bring you to a point where you don't have to adjust for women. No, don't do that. But it will build you to a point where you create your personality and you attract enough women to have a choice and say, this is what I want. All right. And then you must create your own list, like I have created. You must create your own list saying, okay, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. This is what I'll settle for this. I'll do 80% of this list. Fine, no problem. I'll do 50, 70% of this list. Okay, no problem. Okay, or I've been through enough women to say, to understand that this is what I want. Right. But first, you have to offer something back. You have to overpay to actually get something that you want. Everyone is overpaying. Okay. Everyone is working hard to build an empire, to get a good relationship, right? To whatever, get their car. You're always overpaying slightly more. You're putting your attention, your time, your money. So in this case, what you must do is you must build yourself up to a point where your personality is so great that it's attracting the people. And then once you get the woman, if you want a relationship, once you get the woman, then you can overpay because you have already made a personality, because you made your body, your brain, whatever. Overpay and get the right woman also, right? And then when she's in, then you all negotiate always. Women, you all must negotiate, okay? Because once you're in love, you're like, oh my god, he's so nice. Whatever he wants, whatever. Don't do that. Don't do that. It pisses men off. Either it pisses men off, men like me, or men are like, let's take advantage of her. Fun. So both are not pleasant. Yeah. So communicate, negotiate, and make your priorities clear. clear. What do I want? What do I want philosophically? What do I want emotionally? What do I want mentally? What do I want physically? These four very important aspects of life. And that's it. That's about relationships. Topic is over. Now let's see. Um, what are your thoughts on taking health and life insurance as an anti-natalist? I have personally not taken insurance. If you want to take insurance, good for you. I have not taken it because if I get into an accident, I'll just kill myself. Like seriously. Until now, it's been pretty okay for me. So, what are the very few products or services suffice to live lifelong in your perspective? Products or services? See, you need transportation, you need food. Right now, if you're talking about food, I'd suggest vegetables, eggs, all right, and rice for carbs, which is pretty easily digestible. So basically, vegetables, eggs, rice, and chicken if you can, and that's it. That's really all you need. What more do you need? Transport, basic transport. See, it depends on who you are. Like a lot of my friends are consumerists. They are aspirational consumerists, right? So for them, everything is very expensive. Car, but now it is so expensive. I'm like, what? Why do you want to buy the car? Like, what is your logic? Yeah, your office is not that far from your house. No, but I want to drive. Okay, so get a self-drive car. But then for them, that doesn't make sense, right? For me, it makes sense. I am born a very simple person. So, and if I buy a car, I'll buy a very basic car, which is functional. So these things, all these aspects are there when you say you want to live lifelong. But what do you basically need to live? You need good food, okay, healthy food, and you need transport if needed. Like, what? See wherever you live, depending on your this, and you need to keep fit. That's pretty much it. And money, of course, to maintain all this rubbish. So a basic amount of money, and that's it. That's all you need. Mannerism is all about words mostly. No, 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 no. Mannerism is also largely about actions. Okay, how you act, how you this even this movement. This is a mannerism, right? And not just that, how you put your voice. Whether are you shouting at someone? Are you whispering? Are you saying things nicely? Are you putting up energy in the room? Are you standing straight? These all things matter. So, in fact, most language is body language. Okay, good personality equal to make a lot of money, be tall. See, money is important from the perspective of a woman, yes, but she's not looking at money as much as she's looking at productivity. She's looking at how useful you are, how well you keep yourself occupied, okay, how willing you are to change and adapt to situations, how willing you are to work hard if needed, and basically be able to protect her. That is what she's looking at. Money has become a replacement for all that, but in reality, she may say she's looking for money, but in reality, she's actually looking at productivity. She's not interested in how much money you already have and whether you're just going to be a useless bum because you have that money. She's looking at how much you're willing to work, how well you're going to work, how hard you're going to work. That is what is really important, and that is what makes a difference to the cave woman. Are you back to your parents' home? No, I'm not. Oh, I don't think I'm ever going back there. I mean, forget it. Not worth a struggle, not even a consideration. The aim is always procreation, and procreation is obsolete. It is unreasonable to torture us with such nonsense when life itself is torture enough. Are you talking about companionship and sex? Well, all this rubbish because it is rubbish, right? But if it is putting dopamine in your brain, if it is giving you and or oxytocin for that matter, which make you feel good, then it is that anyway you're going to die. Anyway, this life is torture. Might as well have some with you. Might as well create some pleasure within yourself. I'm paranoid of STDs. Is it okay to ask a woman to do a blood check? I don't trust anyone. See, you can't ask a woman on the first date. You'll have to trust the woman a little bit, get a little closer to her, and then maybe I don't think most women will be okay with it. But if you can, great. Evening, forget relationships. Tell me how to make female friends. Oh, see, women very clearly. I feel that a lot of women want a bro, okay, because they are tired of other women, and they want someone to chill with, to hang out with, to be themselves, and not necessarily look at them sexually. If you can be that bro, if you can be that drama-free guy who can hang out with women, that is pretty much what a lot of women are looking for. And if someone is looking for a guy who's giving them drama, then it's probably not worth your time. Okay, unless you want to give them drama, then it's possible. I don't. I'm too bloody old for this crap. I want a simple, decent relationship. where if she's irritating me, I can throw something at her, she'll throw something back at me, we will fight about stupid things, and that's it. Go home, chill. Go shopping, chill. Go eat, chill. That's it. you know my first priority is death. My first priority is death too, man. Seriously. I am always looking for death. But then, like, I failed like three times last year. So I said, okay, let's try something else. And yeah, this is me trying something else, living, earning, moving around, working, blah, 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 blah. Favorite Indian city to chill out in? Bangalore. I think Bangalore is a pretty good place to chill. Safe, good people. Um, Maybe not to live, but to chill for sure. How to exit wage slavery? Uh, Work, invest, build a portfolio, reduce your expenses. All right, and eventually you'll exit very if you're not born rich. Why is Bangalore not a good place to live in? I didn't find it to be such a good place. One, because there's a lot of traffic. B, because the population is extremely hostile. If you don't know, especially if you don't know the local language or you're not a local. And yeah, I didn't find it personally. You could live in it, but if you're living an isolated life, you will not be able to have like a community there, especially if you're a stranger. If you are of that state, if you are of Bangalore, then you're good. Which is your favorite language? I find my favorite language to be Bengali, because it has no hard consonants. It has no l, d. It's a very sweet language. Oh, so everything is rounded, and very interestingly, the language was designed by a bunch of scholars. It was not a natural language. They took the natural language and then they designed it to remove all the sharp edges. Even French, I really like French. Bro, is sex only for procreation? My POV is that nature make sex pleasurable so that you can continue to procreate. Yes, if sex was not pleasurable, there would be like eight of us. Okay, so yes, sex is pleasurable so that we procreate. It's not your view, it's science. What what was that oxytocin meaning? Life got disrupted in that part. I meant oxytocin means, if oxytocin is the love hormone, so if you are falling in love with someone, if you're loving somebody, right, and it makes you feel good, great. But just don't get attached to that oxytocin. If you get attached to it, then what's going to happen is that eventually is going to make you feel bad about it. So anything you're attached to will take you up and then take you down, and that down is horrible. You may know, you may have fallen out of love, or you may be betrayed by somebody you love. Are you still working as a teacher, English and martial arts? I teach martial arts currently, and I do one or two English classes, and that's pretty much it, man. Like, that's nothing massive yet. Hello, I hope you're doing great. I hope you are healthy and fine. I am very healthy and fine. Thank you so much. I hope you are healthy and fine. Okay, I'm going to shut this live because I need to keep it short. Thank you for the great response in the last live. So many, like 3,000 views. I was quite happy with it. And I'm glad you enjoyed it, especially when it was such a depressing topic where we are all losers. You know. All the highs of love will result in lows. Better is peace as far as in life is possible. Sure, sure. Do you follow UFC? No, I don't like any kind of sports, man. I don't really enjoy watching or whatever. And I don't find UFC to